Okay, so my name is Sydnie Malloy, and I'm just going to talk about my service learning experience. So the first question that I'm going to answer is, what service learning projects did I do? And I was involved with the Holy Trinity Church, and then after I couldn't do that because of my softball, I helped out with a softball camp that involved like younger kids, and then I helped out with a basketball intramural like women's league. So I did three different service learning projects. What was the first day like of each one? The first day of the Holy Trinity was very nerve-wracking just because the pastor had made it seem really scary at first, because there's lots of different people that come into dinner who can't afford the regular meals, so they come in and have dinner every Wednesday night, or they come in and have breakfast every Saturday morning. So the first day basically was, we had orientation, so she just explained a little bit of what the environment was going to be like, and then we basically got to just sit down and have other people be the table leaders for the first time. So we sat and we got to wait for people to come in the doors and choose which table they got to sit at, and it was very interesting. The first lady to sit down at my table was extremely nice, like in the best mood that you could possibly imagine. She said that basically she came there because she wanted to make new friends. So I thought that was really cool, and she had brought her friend who she had met just the week before at the same dinner. So that was really, really cool to me. And there's a lot of volunteers that get involved with Holy Trinity. It's quite amazing. So my first day was a little scary. I was a little hesitant in what to say to each person, or what to say at all, just because you don't want to give out too much information about yourself, or you just don't want to insult anybody, I guess. And I'm not a very talkative person anyways. I'm pretty introverted, so the first day was pretty hard for me. And so then my first day for the softball camp wasn't as nerve-wracking as Holy Trinity, but it's still nerve-wracking just because I'm not a teacher. I was very nervous to give people my opinions just because I didn't know if they would take it in a good way or take it in a negative way, because I know that me personally, I love taking people's opinions in, so I'm really like, oh, I'll try that. So I wasn't sure how other people would take it, and there's little girls like 6 years old to high schoolers who are like juniors, seniors, and so you have a different variety of attitudes to the way that people teach you. So it made me very hesitant on what I should do or say to encourage people to improve their skills. And then the basketball was more reffing and keeping score, and just being a little bit more involved with the actual game aspect of it. So if people you have to call out fouls, and you have to keep track of them, because I found out very quickly that if you don't keep track of fouls, they get very angry because they take it very seriously. And scoring was pretty easy. It's pretty basic, but the interaction was definitely a little scary at first. I was a little hesitant, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to not count it because I couldn't hear you loud enough, and I don't want to ask and then stop the game. So the first days were a little rough, but the days after got much better. So who did I work with in each setting? With the Holy Trinity, you work with a lot of different people with different disabilities that they can't afford certain healthcare stuff. So during one of the times that I was there, they did a survey to see what all benefits that each person got, which was very interesting. It's very sad to see that not a lot of people can afford it, even though they're working as many hours as they can, or they can't find a job. It's a very different environment to be in, and it kind of sets you back and you feel more reserved just watching it. I remember having a family come in, and this little girl about like 3 years old, and the mom being very stressed out the whole time, the dad just kind of laid back, just whatever, and just watching the interactions between them was very, I don't know, it hit home for me because it's just to see people who can't provide as well as they would like to, it's kind of sad. And then to have them do a survey and you be there and you have more offered to you than they do. It's very eye-opening, I guess you could say. And like I said, with the softball girls, ages from low elementary school to higher high school, there's like 2 different sessions and you work with very different aged kids, so it's a lot of learning experience for the whole thing. And then with the basketball, it's mostly older women, and then there was one younger, probably teens group who played. So some high schoolers, and then a lot of like 20 and 30-year-olds playing. Very interesting to see them play each other and how competitive that they get. So yeah. How did the project impact me? It impacted me a lot. I actually really liked this service learning project. I think it helped open up my eyes to what I can do to not only better myself, but to better the lives of other people. Like the Holy Trinity, I had mentioned it to my family, and my grandma is super religious and super into giving and helping people, and when I had mentioned to her that I had gone and done the Holy Trinity thing at dinner, she was very, very excited for me. My sister actually said that she wanted to go with me, and I actually hope to continue going after when I have more time to go. So it impacted me a lot. I hope that I can keep going. It was a really fun experience meeting all those people, and it's just a good environment to be in, and I think. For the softball, I learned a lot about myself and about teaching abilities, I guess you could say. I learned how to better use my voice to explain something to other people or give little feedback, and how some people really do want to learn and those who don't, you just encourage them the best that you can. And those who did want to learn a lot, I think did learn a lot. So I think the experience for them helped them out a lot, and I think they'll go a long ways with what they learned. And then for the basketball, I think it made me better interact in stressful situations, especially with, like I said, the foul count and knowing when it comes down to a certain point in the game, people take it very seriously, and you just have to do the best you can to keep up with how they play. So reffing definitely helped me keep a little bit calmer in a stressful situation. So what did I learn? I think I learned that, like I said, with the softball, how to teach people better and how to use my voice to help the people who really want to learn, and those who don't, I'm gonna try to help them to the best of my ability. And with the Holy Trinity, I learned a lot about different people. I learned how to interact with different people, and that they're just like us. They just are a little behind in life, I guess you could say, and they're just looking for, they don't want sympathy, they just want someone to talk to and just be there for their friend and just have a normal civil conversation with them and to not feel looked down upon. I mean, there was this one guy, I could not understand a single word he said, but I just sat there and I nodded my head and acted like I knew what he was saying, and he just had a smile on his face and kept talking to me for, I'm sure, 20 to 30 minutes, like just having a really good conversation with me, but I had no idea what he was saying, but I could tell that he was happy that I was talking to him. So I'm sure that brightened his day a little bit, because it definitely made me feel better that even though I didn't know what he was saying, he just had someone to talk to. So would I continue going to my service learning site? Absolutely. If I had more time to go to Holy Trinity, I absolutely would, and I'm planning on staying in Spokane for the summer, so I would really love to get more involved with it and go even on the Saturdays and more Wednesdays. As for the softball, I find that I really like coaching. I love giving people feedback on how they can get better and how they can improve their own skills. So if there was another camp, I definitely would help out with it, and now that I know how to better use my voice to help people, I'm sure that I could give people a lot more feedback than I did the first group. And as for the basketball, I love watching the games, so I absolutely would go and ref the games again. So yes, so my service learning was a very fun experience, and I do plan on continuing with it.